All right. This video, I'm going to go more into what you have to be willing to actually do when you want to go into this route of wanting to be independent. And one of the main things you're going to have to do is work. And it may sound a little strange considering the fact that you want to be independent and want to be a boss and sit back and tell other people what to do. And eventually it's going to become a point in time where you actually will be at that point and do those things. But in order to get there, you're going to have to work. And that's honestly one of the hardest things to accept, with most people when they start off with a business. And just for a little personal history with myself, I remember when I had first got out of college, and I knew at that time, I just knew I was going to have to work at least by my second year my third year in college. Like by that point, I knew based on the way the things were going with the economy, how it was never really a guaranteed long-term decision at a job. I realized that pretty much after I had got fired from the little McDonald's job. That's kind of when I was open to the idea that no matter how much effort and time and different resources you could put into a company, the minute you do something that violates their policy, they can let you go, and then it'll be hard for you to even get back on your feet, and you have to literally start from square one again. And I realized the reason why I keep going back to this position was primarily because, I had to work for it. Nothing was ever done for me prior. My mom did the best that she could, of course, to make sure that my situation was at least afloat, but no male or anybody that was prior to me had ever set any stone in any kind of business, left anything behind. So it's man, everything that I had to acquire, I had to work for it. And I knew this. I knew this by the time I hit about 2021. And that's when I realized I'm going to have to take Scorpio&Sebek seriously, or at least I'm going to have to come up with some idea of something I could do seriously. It wasn't the name, of course, until 2014, but I knew I was going to have to do it because it was nothing that had ever been done. So, I knew before graduating college, I knew I was going to have to work about 2 jobs. And I knew by working 2 jobs, that would propel me to get the things I needed quicker, as opposed to me going out saying, oh, I have a college degree, going downtown, wherever city I was going to be moving to, just saying, hey, I got a college degree. I just graduated. I got education, when you guys hire me, and waiting months and months and months for something that may not ever come. I felt like, you know what? We are already living in a society where they basically are training you to be a service worker. It's not really many skills that they really trying to teach out here these days, because they know if you have that skill, you can do your own business and you ain't going to really need these jobs and have to depend on everything that's going on within this marketplace. So because of that law that really exists now, I felt like, you know what, I might as well go on and just start from square one, just take the L. I knew everything that I had to do as far as going and getting a job. I knew as soon as I got out, I was going to be able to work about 2 or 3 jobs. So I said, you know what, let me just take this little job at McDonald's and work somewhere else. And by me doing that, I could get some equipment on my own. And, and even though I had the equipment I had after I got my refund check in my last year of college, that still wasn't enough for me to produce the stuff I want to produce, because as we all know, technology changes so fast. You might have a camera that came out in 2011, and then, you might have worked for 2 years to build all the resources you need to get that camera. And before you can even work on a project, that camera is already outdated. That's just the way technology works. So I knew, man, I had to get another 4K camera, and I ended up working 2 jobs. Mind you, I was paying bills and, doing all that other stuff in my daily lifestyle. And so I knew, to get it wasn't going to be that easy, but I saved up all the money I needed, got the cameras, got, a bunch of other stuff too, got all the branding material, all of my merchandise, shirts, and all that stuff. I got all that stuff literally by just working, to where it was man, 2 years later, I ended up having literally all of my stuff, my branding equipment, my merchandise, my equipment to make my films, editing software, my laptop, I mean, all that stuff, like, and, and the way I got it, because I just worked, honestly, I just said, you know what? I'm not about to go around with this ego on my shoulder thinking that just because I have this education, that means something. I mean, that college degree is really no different than a high school diploma. In fact, if you have a high school diploma, they probably will hire you quicker out here because they feel like, you probably will last longer in the company. They know if you got a college degree, you probably going to try something else. So if you have a high school diploma and that's all you promoting, you might actually get hired before somebody that has a degree. Hell, it's been a lot of times that when I would go out to some of these jobs, I would just tell these people I never even went to school, particularly because they think that you ain't going to last long in the company. So that ain't going to allow you to make money right now to take care of your right now responsibilities. That's going to help you get to your main goal faster. The only way you're going to get there faster is you got to have some money. I mean, it's inevitable. It don't matter what the hell you trying to do out here. You could be an actor. You could be trying to do the video production like I'm doing. You could be trying to start a business. You could be trying to be a rapper. Whatever your main aspiration is, you're going to have some stream of income that you generating while you're trying to pursue that goal. And that's when I want to go into, you knowing how to do that. And it's not easy because, I mean, the only way you really going to be able to make some sorts of legitimate income is by working a job. Of course, I'm not really trying to promote anybody to do anything illegal because that's just going to lead to you, having to sacrifice your freedom in the long run. So that's not even really worth it. So you might as well just work a job. Go and get you a little job at McDonald's. I mean, don't get me wrong. It ain't nothing that's going to last forever, and it's hard. Trust me, it's going to be hard going to some of these jobs thinking like, man, whatever it is I want to do, this is going to have to go on and pop soon, man. Cause I don't know how much more of this I could deal with. I know like it's going to be extremely hard, but through time of you doing these different ventures, you learn skills, you learn patience, you learn how to deal with people, and you learn how to actually get things done in a system. Because when you work all these different jobs, you really are just working in different corporate systems, and you just learning how one business runs and operates their thing and how another one does it. And you just kind of learn from each person and take bits and bits from that and, and manifest your own brand. I mean, honestly, I would say some of the smallest brands out here have to be influenced by the biggest corporations because a lot of the people that start these small businesses worked in these big corporations. I work with a lot of like property managers right now that work for like large scale, property management vendors and stuff that have nationwide properties all over the 50 states of America, but they have small businesses that they operate where they need like small time vendors to do these things. So, it's just a lot of different ways you're going to have to separate and construct your schedule so you can actually do the goal that you actually want to do. And it's not that easy doing that. Like I said, when I was working 2 jobs, I was literally working 7 days a week. I'm not saying that like it was something good, but I just knew it had to be done. I knew, man, it had been years of me talking about the idea of doing the Scorpio&Sebek. It had been years of different ideas I had in the back of my mind of how I saw how the whole thing was going to look. I see movies in my mind right now that I haven't even started filming, that I had really had the idea of way back then. I'm not going to really say the synopsis of the movie. Y'all going to see it in the future, but it's movies right now that I'm getting ready to produce that I had in the back of my head for years ago. And they probably going to be literally classics that people are never going to forget. And that's why I'm just documenting this now, because it's going to be good for somebody to at least hear this before it's done. I don't give a damn if it's 2 people that hear this shit. At the end of the day, somebody going to hear it and then they're going to say, wow, this guy at least predicted whatever he said he was going to do. And it's not even predicted because I've been had these ideas years and years ago, I just never was able to really do it because I had to work all this time. I had to work to get the equipment. And yeah, I could have gone and worked. And I always hear people come to me a lot and say, well, why don't, cause I'm right here in Atlanta and everybody here in Atlanta like to nut ride the guy, Tyler Perry. And they always like to say, well, why don't you go try to get a job working or an internship working with Tyler Perry? And well, why don't you try to go side by side with this director? Oh, you in Atlanta? where they doing all this film stuff. I know it's somebody you could connect with. And that's true. You know, I could get with somebody. I could make a movie and a project. We could do something. That's true. But let's be honest. Is that really what I had imagined what I wanted to do when I was 9 years old? Y'all saw the shit I put out. You see this little, picture book I did. I did this in 1998. You know what I'm saying? Like I was writing stories. You see this, like my handwriting. I mean, you know, I'm drawing pictures of a snake. The damn snake looked like the damn Energizer bunny with his ears. I mean, I've been doing this shit for years. You honestly think in 1998, when I was sitting in my art class in Stonewall Tail Elementary School, that I was thinking that I was going to be in a group of people that I didn't know, never had seen a day in my life, and they were going to be a part of what I actually had imagined I was going to create when I was sitting down in the movie theaters in 1995, watching Rumble in the Bronx, watching Mortal Kombat, the scene when Shang Tsung, you know, get uppercutted into the pit. Do you honestly think that I had imagined I was going to have a bunch of people I didn't know working on that with me? Like, no, I had to do it. I had to create this. And that's what you have to realize. Like, you're going to get so much of a work ethic that's going to be so magnificent compared to what other people are going to be doing. You could literally do all this stuff by yourself. It's going to be, if you that in tune with what you want to really do, you could literally just do this stuff by yourself. And it's going to make people feel like they're obsolete to you. And that's what you have to watch out for when you start to gain a real strong work ethic. You know, a lot of people are going to start feeling obsolete, and you're going to really start blocking them away from your ideas when they can actually be used to help manifest the idea better. And, but that's kind of how I look at it right now. And even if I were to work on a project with Tyler Perry or something, do you honestly think that guy who has billions of dollars, he's known worldwide for all of his projects he produced, do you honestly think he's going to care about somebody small time like me and how much money I'm going to get out of the project? He going to just saturate me for all this skill that and all this creativity I've manifested all these years, 27 years of my life. He going to just basically try to use that to help build his thing. But Scorpio&Sebek ain't going to be going nowhere. I might get notoriety, but that ain't going to help me make no money, you know? So that's what you have to get the idea out your mind that somebody's also going to come help you. You like, I'm telling you, when you doing your own personal goal and your own aspiration, you're not going to have no help with this. And it's sad to say it because, you know, you would think that you're doing something that's going to benefit people in the long run to where you could literally change their lives, because it ain't like they really got nothing that's fulfilling a purpose for them. You know what I'm saying? You fulfilling a purpose by you going after your goal and your aspiration. Just think about all the people in your family when you actually do the thing you want to do, how life is just going to change all of a sudden for them because of what you did and because of what you had to go out and put labor in and put the efforts in work into. So, you know, you got to work for this. And the only way that you're going to do it is you're going to have to realize you're going to have to work on your own. Like I said, when I was working them 2 jobs, I was doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was going there, you know, working in that damn grill area by myself. You know, mind you, this shit was illegal what they used to do at McDonald's. Like, these people would literally have your ass in there working, you know, working that whole back grill area by yourself. You're supposed to have 3 people back there. They would literally be trying to save money because it would be like kind of slow in the afternoons, but it would be peaks and troughs when it would get busy and slow. And they would have 1 man back there doing all that stuff. So it would be like 20 orders that come on the screen and 1 man would have to do all that. When you go into all these other franchises and they got a full staff of people back there, but they do these things just to save money. So I was dealing with that. You know, I was dealing with my little dishwashing job and I was cleaning houses. You know, that's when I started first getting into the vacant, foreclosure cleaning stuff like I'm doing now, you know, and I got contracts here where I could go clean houses here. I could clean houses in Los Angeles. I could clean houses in Phoenix. I could clean houses all over the damn country because of the people I'm contracted with. Because I had to literally sacrifice my time, you know, with those jobs. I had to get rid of that stuff to realize, hey, I need to set something that's going to make some money for me so I can actually start producing my brand stuff. Because when I was working those 2 jobs, I didn't have time to really do anything. I would get up, work from 2 to damn 12 at night. So that means in between 12 and 12 in the morning and 12 in the evening, I would have to literally get some sleep, you know, eat, wash my ass, and then get up and do the same thing again, 7 days a week. So I didn't have, even if I wanted to work on an idea, I didn't have time to do it because I had to get the money to get the resources to do it. So, you gonna have to really, really work and that's gonna also prove if you really want to do whatever your idea that you claim you want to do. Like that's gonna really prove. Cause, I'm gonna be honest, like, later on when I start making my documentaries, I'm gonna show you guys what other people are doing in their ventures and as far as like what they live like in their independent businesses. And I will show you guys, now we in the new year of 2019. I'm gonna show you guys also what Scorpio&Sebek does. How we generate money. What the daily aspects of what we do. And, just to show you how it's really like living. And it's not to show you like, oh, this is going to be like dull and depressing. It's really fun building a business. I mean, when you go through these scars and ups and downs, really the downs is sitting around waiting, figuring out when you're going to get contracts and just trying to really build whatever it is you're doing and you sitting around on your own or when you got to go out and deal with these things, you start to learn if I could deal with this, then man, I could deal with anything. And you're going to really start to understand what I'm talking about when I show you guys this stuff. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of things really having to work, like, I mean, like I said, I've been in some houses where I've had to clean, where, it's like, man, like these people literally will have houses that are like 3 stories, you know what I'm saying? And you have to go in there and clean that stuff by yourself. And, and some of these houses are horrible. You might go in some of them and the people might leave everything behind. And you got to go in there and literally clean all that stuff out. And then you got to, clean it up and you just doing this all day, just to make your money. So it's a lot of different little things I've had to do, like labor wise to generate money. It's I don't know. It's just, you just really got to work for this thing. I was just thinking about that a lot. And then you also have to know what type of work you want to do. Like I said, I mean, the only reason I do the cleaning stuff, the little dishwashing jobs and the McDonald's, the only reason I've ever taken these kind of jobs is because I know it's not really going to be that much of a constraint on my time. I know B, it's not like these people are going to be expecting me to build a career out of these jobs. Like I'm going to go there and be trying to work and build my way into the company. So they just look at it like, as long as you can show up, do the work, get the money and dip, then you good. And C, it's like if some of these jobs, like if you need time off, like they more lenient about it. I don't really know how it is in some of these other corporate positions because I've never really had an office job, because I never really saw the incentive of working an office job. So I don't really know how it is in those jobs, but I just know in restaurants and in those low menial jobs, they're a little bit more lenient as far as like letting you get time off to do stuff because they know, you're going to have other ventures going on. I remember it was one time when I was at my dishwashing job and it was a guy, cause I'm here in Atlanta and, and a lot of people here are really big into trying to be, rappers. And I remember it was a guy that was there. And that day he didn't show up for work because he was he was in the studio with that guy Rico Wade who helped basically brand Outkast back in the early 90s because those guys pretty much live here and that's when they started, their that's when they had started their whole movement with the Dungeon Family back in the early 90s. And and they still located here but they still help out artists that's locally here. And they, they'll let them come and basically pay for studio time and help them record. But I don't know if they help them actually promote their music and stuff because, a lot of these guys probably have connections in the game, but a lot of these guys probably connections are expired. But anyway, this guy, he didn't show up for work one day because he went to go like record in their studio. And I remember when he came into work, they were asking him, well, where were you? What were you doing? And he said, no, man, I went to the studio and they didn't even fire him. They didn't even trip about it, and it wasn't because he was an ideal employee. It was honestly because they know that, it's not like people are just trying to build a career out of like those jobs. And, I've worked with a lot of people that will like literally be working for a few months and then they'll fly out to Los Angeles to go, work on their little acting careers, cause a lot of actresses are like waiters and waitresses at a lot of these restaurants. So it's interesting to see, how everybody like pick these type of jobs, but mainly because they know they can kind of walk in and out of them, and it's not this real constraint on you like that. But, but with me and personally, I just always never really minded doing hard work. I grew up in a single mom household. It was just me, my brother, and my sister. So of course, that forced me to have to, deal with a lot more adult, man responsibilities at an early age, so I always saw that if I don't put in some type of work to do something, then nothing is going to be upheld, because I always just saw that, it was never no man around. And that's just at the end of the day, if a nigga want to be real about all this shit, it's going to take a man really to sustain, the foundation of how something is going to be going and like continuing, and I just saw that, man, as that's just kind of what I have to do. If I'm not putting in some type of work into a system, then it's not going to last. I just saw that at a very early age. So I never really minded taking like jobs that really were like labor type jobs, because I saw that's what a lot of people out here don't want to do. And what people don't want to do is usually what pays the most. And you could get away with a lot of things in those industries. But that's just what I always had seen. And that's why I always chose that route. And you just got to know what it is that you don't mind dealing with, what it is that that basically sums up who you are. And that's the kind of jobs you have to take. And you might have to work about 2 or 3 of them to even get to the point you want to be at. But I'm telling you, it's going to be rewarding, because when you at least get to that point, you did it. And it's going to be nobody that can tell you how to do what you're doing. It ain't going to be nobody telling you when to get up, what day you need to meet them, where you need to meet them, what project y'all going to work on, some board meeting where you got to meet a bunch of people you don't care nothing about. And you got to sit in the room and then conjure up some idea to do something that you probably don't even want to work on. But you got to do it now because you've already fulfilled yourself and made this contract obligation with them because you wanted to pursue your dream. Now, if that's the route you want to go, no problem. But it's also a route you can take where you got to go on this real odyssey where you're going to have to fight all kind of ghouls and ghosts and demons in your mind, demons that that's going to be going on with other people. And you're going to have to really get out here and work, to really fulfill whatever it is your desires are. And you got to have, you got to use your sexual desire mixed with your love and your passion for really doing this. You have to mix those two to really get into your work and really make this thing happen. It's as crazy as it sounds. You have to use those two elements because that's the only way it's ever going to manifest, but you got to work though. That's the main thing that I'm going to talk about on this channel is you got to work. You got to work if you want to do this thing, and you got to do it on your own. The internet's not going to help you. Yeah, you could go on the internet and do the social media marketing, but you got to go to events. You got to set up events that you can go to. You got to go to set up booths where you selling, your merchandise at vendors. You got to be paying hundreds of dollars going to stuff that's going around in your own city, passing out business cards, selling your mixtapes or documentaries or DVDs or, wristbands and stuff, shirts or whatever. You got to be going and doing that stuff every time they have shit like that.